Saha received BE in Electrical Engineering and the ME in ENTCE from Calcutta University in the year 1984 and 1989 respectively. He received a PhD degree from the Indian Institute of Technology, Kharagpur in 2000. He got postdoctoral research experience from IIT Kharagpur and the Ben Gurion University, Israel. He worked with RE College, Durgapur, India as a lecturer. He worked in ECE department, KGEC, India. He worked with the Curriculum Development Center, NITTR, Calcutta as assistant professor. He worked as the associate professor and the head of IT and CSE in GCELT, Kolkata. So he is presently the head of IT department and a professor in IT department, Nehu, India. So, sir, with this, I will conclude my welcome speech, and we are very, very thankful that you could spare your precious time for this webinar, sir. So I will hand over the time to our speaker. Sir, please, the time is here, sir. Sir, can you unmute yourself, sir?
Yeah. Good afternoon, everybody. And I am seeing 50 participants. I'm very lucky that at least 50 persons are listening to some of the research activity which I have carried out recently. And this is, I'm sharing you what research activity it is. It is like this, a novel technique for the treatment of genetically induced diseases. Novel technique for treatment of genetically induced diseases. You may be surprised that a person with a background of electronics, electrical engineering, and presently HOD of IT, and he's giving lecture on the treatment of genetically induced diseases, which is a very fertile ground for biotechnology and medical science. How is it possible? Yeah, it is possible. It is possible means it is highly possible, and it is happening. It is happening with all the drugs which are presently being designed, and it is the future medicine. The medical science will take this shape in future. It will be always in hand to hand with computer science and mathematics. The medical science has to mix to make it presently the medical science is observational science, and to make it a very strong and coming out of its observational science, we have to use mathematics, we have to use logic of computer science into it, so that it becomes a very strong science. It is still a strong science, but it becomes further stronger. Presently, there are, in medical science, we can treat diseases which are of the origin of bacterial infection. We can nicely do it. We can use we can use these capsules and all these things which can cure it, which can kill the bacteria. But we cannot treat two types of diseases. One is very unpleasant, that is COVID-19, that is the virus. Second, another one which is also very dangerous, it is genetically induced diseases. Genetically induced diseases, which medical science has got no treatment, has got nothing. They cannot treat it. Thus, they can manage it. They can manage the show, but they cannot treat it. Now, when I was in Ben Gurion University in 2002, some sort of research was initiated in this direction, and that I am fortunate that I was a part of that research, though I left it in between, not in the middle, at the very initial stage of it, but the idea struck my mind from 2002 onwards. Now it is 2020, still I am fighting with it, and now I have come with, I will tell you that I have come with some sort of solutions. This has been accepted. This technique which I am going to propose to you, I'm going to show it to you, has been accepted in World Congress. As you see that it is a slide of the World Congress, WCCI, World Congress in Computational Intelligence 2020, which is held in Glasgow in 2020, which has been presented and accepted and well accepted. And my student who has presented this paper, Abhinandan Khan, he has got a scholarship for it. And we have patented this device also. We patented the whole thing. We have applied for patent, not patented. We have applied for patent. Complete specification has already been filed. So we are waiting for the final hearing. We are waiting for the final show. Okay. Now this is about the what I am telling about the background of this work. And the background of the work is another technique. Another story is there in the background of this work. Is that genetically induced diseases, the research on genetically induced diseases, you need some data, you need some persons, you need some experimental spots from where we can do some experimentation. In Israel, we have found that there are some tribes there who has got marriage between their very close relatives. So they suffer from maximum genetically induced diseases. So in that particular institute, the biological people, the people from the applied biosciences, they used to search for those persons.
Sir, hello, sir. Sorry to disturb you, sir. Can you please make your slide in a full screen mode, sir?
Full screen mode, okay. Full screen mode. Full screen mode is F5.
Sir, you can just press F5, sir.
F5. Is it okay?
No, sir. Or yeah, it's coming, sir.
It's coming. It's coming. It's full screen to my your screen sharing. Your screen sharing. Yeah, it's full screen now. Okay. Now what I'm telling, what I was telling. Now it is okay, now you can see it.
Yes, sir. We can see it.
Now, okay. Let me now continue. We are searching for this type of disease. We are searching. Our target was the ladies who are pregnant. Now, in one particular case, when I was there, there was a case. We found a case where a baby was supposed to born and with very small eyelid, because of some genetic disease, this genetic mutation. Now, genetic mutation occurred, we got it, and we found out which are the genes responsible, which is the gene responsible for it. We know that what should be that particular the exact configuration of the gene, etc., etc. And what we have done is that they made an experimentation over there to replace. They made the correct gene, and they used virus to inject into the womb, and the virus with the appropriate RNA which has been injected into that particular virus, it was put into the zygote of the lady. Zygote, I think 4 or 18 or 8 or 16 zygotes, I don't remember right now, and it was successfully replaced. The gene was successfully replaced, and we are very pleased that the lady will have a very nice baby, and the baby will be a very normal baby. Now, after some time, what happened? That baby died. After some time, after 2 weeks, the baby died. The lysis occurred. Abortion occurs. So what happened? Why the abortion occurs? That becomes a research topic. So we have the abnormal gene, the responsible gene for the particular disease has been diagnosed. That gene has been replaced by a good gene. Still, the rectification has not been done. So on the contrary, some devastation has been done. It was totally destroyed. The whole system collapsed. So the research started from that particular point. Why this happened? So why this happened is the question, and how to solve it is the next question. Now, first I'm going into why this happened. Why when we have detected the faulty gene, and if we replace it, why the rectification has not happened? So let us come to we come into the concept of gene regulatory network. So you see, this is my student Abhinandan Khan. This is myself. Anyway, outline of this work is gene. So first thing is Why this happened? Answer is gene regulatory network. See here, gene regulatory network and their computational deconstruction. Gene regulatory network, what is the gene regulatory network? I will come to you. Next, on my delivery, this particular delivery, next my outline will be modeling with of the given GRN with its time series data using RNN. Now, you see in the first topic, what I have given gene regulatory networks and their computational reconstruction. What is gene regulatory network? First, let us come. What is gene regulatory network? Gene regulatory network, genes, you know, the blueprints of life. That I am a human being, a mouse is a mouse, a goat is a goat, but everybody has got some mammalian cell structure or this type of cell structure, and these cells, I will say that these the difference between the genes of human being and a rat is 0.8%. But and due to this difference, this particular living creature becomes rat, and I am a human being. But what is this is called the blueprint of life, and this is called the building block of life also, genes. Now what happens, you know, gene produces proteins, and those protein or a set of proteins act as a promoter for another gene. Promoter means this promoter either switches on a gene or switches off a gene or upregulates it or downregulates it. What does it mean? That means a protein produces a gene produces a protein. That protein either switches on or switches off another gene or regulates another gene. The protein produced by that particular gene is also does the same thing for gene number 3. So in this way, a network is formed. In this way, a genetic network is formed. One is influencing another. The second is influencing third is influencing 10th is influencing 100th, like that. A network is formed. This is called gene regulatory network. Now look, if we speak in a very simplistic way, we have got our body carries out, a living system carries out so many works. What? My heart regulates, my liver regulates, my pancreas regulates, my lung regulates, everything regulates, and everything is controlled by a set of gene regulatory network like that. A set of gene regulatory network, and they are interconnected. See, heart is connected to kidney, lung is connected to heart. So the gene regulatory networks which are responsible for the management of the lung definitely is interlinked with the gene regulatory network of the heart, and the gene, and the same thing is connected to the gene regulatory network of kidney. So in this way, our body, our genetic systems, if we sketch, it will be thousands of gene regulatory networks which are interconnected, neatly interconnected, nicely interconnected, and so that the systems works as a stable system. The whole systems become highly stable, very highly stable. If there is a perturbation in one particular area, it is so stable. We have done it mathematically. We have shown it mathematically that the other systems can absorb it. Otherwise, you see, we are human beings. We have got a particular set of foods. We have got a particular set of behavioral patterns. If we deviate it, a human being would have died. That is called perturbation. That perturbation could have caused a death to a human being, but we do not have anything like that. So it is a very highly rugged network systems in our body. So gene regulatory network, genes, I have said, the blueprint of life, and they form gene regulatory network, or GRN is used to represent the complete genetic regulatory relationships. Okay, so this is what this gene regulatory network is. Now, the gene regulatory network in the biological lab, it is impossible to, we cannot, only 2 or 3 gene regulatory networks it was possible to chalk out from the wet lab. Wet lab means biologist has succeeded in making this, in developing gene regulatory network in the wet lab, in the biological lab. So what is the solution? Solution is that we have to learn how to simulate gene regulatory network in computational way. Here comes the mathematics and here comes the computer science. So how to make a gene regulatory network which is responsible for, say, our lung system. So what we will do, we'll do some microarray experiment or NSG experiment, NGS experiment. We'll time series, of course, time series. Time series means at 12 o'clock, I will take some data, 12:05, I will take some data of the same set of genes, which is extracted from the lung. 12:10, I will take, 12:15, I will take, 12:20, I will take. In this way, I will take a huge number of series, time series data. I'm telling you as an engineer, not in the biological point of view, exactly is not like that. It depends on the states of the particular lung or particular body organ, which is a point of interest. Now, if we take the genes which are active genes in the lung when it is functioning, we take the expression value of the genes at different time instants, they form a time series. You will say the time series microarray data, okay, time series genetic data. And from this time series data, we will find out, we have to deconstruct a gene regulatory network. We have to reconstruct a gene regulatory network. So this was our first research topic, how to make a gene regulatory network. This research started long back. People used to start with Bayesian network, people used to start with Boolean networks, everything people tried, but nothing gave. It is still a strong field of research for computer scientists, bioinformatics scientists. It is very strong research arena, but still people are fighting with it. But recently, two good techniques has come. Not recently, it is about 5 to 10 years back. The very good, strong mathematical this formulation has come. One is RNN and another is S system. Using these two techniques, we can easily not. This is the thing. Using the recurrent neural network and S system, we can computationally find out gene regulatory network of lung using the time series data extracted from the lung gene, the genes, active genes which are responsible for the operation of the lung. Similarly, it can be done for kidney. Similarly, it can be done for the heart, etc., etc. Okay. Now this is the recurrent. One is very strong things. One is a recurrent neural network, and another is S system. In mathematical term, the recurrent neural network is quite easy because it is linear system, and A system is very complex because it is a non-linear differential equation. So, in our present work, we have used the easiest path, that is recurrent neural network way. Okay. Now let me go out next. This is called the reverse engineering of network identification. Okay. Next, you see the deconstruction of gene regulatory network. It is given in this particular slide, nicely given. Input, you must have an input. Time series gene expression data available in different websites, including your this NIC, including the latest different US laboratories supplies it, and also NICB and other sources are there from which we can get the gene time series gene expression data. From the time series gene expression data, you have to fit this time series gene expression data into suitable model. Model is what model? The model is RNN model or a system model. We have used here what? RNN model. In this RNN model, it is an equation, it is a set of equation. I'm not going into the details of it because the things will take a nasty turn in that case. It is so much mathematical. I'm not going to mathematical terms. I'm just telling you from the time series data, I have to fit it into a mathematical model. Mathematical model means it is a model consisting of two things. One is parameters and other is states. Say, for example, I'm giving you y is equal to mx plus c. X and y are the states. M is a parameter, c is a parameter. Okay. Now, my task here in GRN reconstruction is to find out the suitable value of M and C, so that this can fit into our time series data. This can find out the internal dynamics of the time series data very accurately. So if it is a nonlinear system, if it is this is an there are many, that means if one gene consists of 20, one network consists of 20 genes, there will be 20 equations, coupled equations. So it will be very difficult for us to find out the normal mathematical tools for the parameter fitment or finding out the exact parameter. So what we do, we use suitable meta-heuristic technique. What is meta-heuristic techniques? That is called your ABC ANT. Okay, that means GA. Okay, and all these techniques are there in computer science. You know it. GA, ANT, ABC, PSO. These techniques are there. There are about hundreds of techniques of such meta-heuristic techniques, using which we can easily find out, not easily, we can find out, it's a time consuming, we can find out those mathematical parameters very nicely, which can extract the dynamics of the time series data very nicely. Okay. From there, the model is, we get optimized parameter values of the model, and that makes from there I can make the GRN. So time series data, fit it in the suitable model, find out the parameters and the whole exact model which describes the dynamics of the time series data is made, and from there we construct the GRN. This is the techniques of how to make a GRN. Techniques are many, but two prominent techniques are used. One is RNN and another is S system. So we have used here RNN system. Next. So here ABC means artificial bee colony. So he has done it, he has shown it. External perturbations on GRN. Now let me show you how a GRN looks like. This is the GRN looks like. Have you seen GRN? This is a GRN looks like this. See how many genes are there? 9 genes are there. G1, G2, G3, G4, G5, G6, G7, G8, G9, G10. 10 genes are there. Okay, that means from the time series genetic data, I can reconstruct this particular network. Clear? This is a mathematics. This is a mathematics, and this is a mathematics. BTech boys can also do. Okay, of course, it is a good BTech boys can do. Even MTech boys, it is a nice project also. So now, see, this is the nice genetic. Say, I consider that this is a network. This is a network of lung. Say, now you see in this particular network there are 3 particular genes who are not influenced by other gene. Have you seen? G3 is influenced by so many genes. G3 has got influence of G10 on it. G3 has got influence of G4 on it, G1 on it, etc., etc. But you see, G9 has not been perturbed by any other gene. Have you seen? G1 is not been perturbed by any other gene. G8 is not perturbed by any other gene. They are called the master regulators. In this network, they are called the master regulators. The brown color notes denote the master regulators. So remember that, how I am going into the pictures and how I am going into that particular problem in my head, why the baby died. So next is, you see, since they are master regulators, and say some gene somewhere in the network, in some other network, may have been mutated. Mutated means their construction has been changed, or some chemical change has been occurred, their performance has been degraded. Everything can happen. or they has been switched off due to some problem in the human system and in the body system, living system. So it may occur that these genes may be disturbed by the influence of other network. You see, EP, external perturbations. These external perturbations are possible here. Look, this gene, this particular network, without any external perturbation, was stable, was nicely stable, is working nicely. It is a completely healthy person's gene regulatory network. So when it is being disturbed by some external perturbations, what is external perturbations? Means proteins produced by somewhere else, some wrong proteins, some culprit proteins which have been formed somewhere else and which is now disturbing it, which is acting as a regulator over here. It is giving some unwanted signals. That means if these proteins are sitting on the promoter region of this particular gene, and it is telling it to do something which it should not do. Okay, so this is called the external perturbation. If this external perturbation comes, what will happen? Now, question is, if the external perturbation comes, what will happen? See here. If the external perturbation comes, which of the gene in this particular regulator will be disturbed most? G4 will be disturbed most. You see, if G1, G8, and G9, if I imagine all of them are disturbed, then what will happen? All of them are disturbed. Then what will happen? All of them are perturbations are coming. You see, I'm showing you. Have you seen these colored lines? The G1 the G1 will disturb G3. G3, when it is disturbed, it will disturb G4. Okay, G1 will disturb directly G4. If G9 is disturbed, it will disturb G10. G10 will directly disturb G4. G10 will also disturb G3, and G3 will again disturb G4. G3, in terms, it can disturb G7, and G7 may disturb G4. So G4 is the particular gene which is maximum disturbed if this external perturbation at least comes in G9 and G1. I am not talking of G8. So G8, if it comes, it will not affect it very, very highly, because if G8 is disturbed, it will disturb only G2, nobody else. But if G1 and G9 is disturbed by some external perturbations, it will cause maximum damage to G4. So what will happen? So G4's expression level has been disturbed. So G4 has got some function in the human body. So that function will be disturbed, and genetically part of disease, genetically a genetical disease will occur to the human, to the living system. A genetical mismanagement will come to the system, the human system, and that will create disease. That may be fatal also. The G4 will cause the disease. Now, tell me, all of you, if I replace G4, we have what scientists find out? G4 is creating problem. That's why the human being is suffering. This particular man is suffering from this disease. Now the question is, if I replace G4, say, if I've got the highest technology for gene replacement, though not available till that, if I replace G4, will my disease be? My disease be? I can recover from the disease, genetic disease? No, because if G4 is disturbed, the perturbations will be remaining. The new gene will again be disturbed, and again I will have the same disease. Nothing will happen if I do some engineering on G4. Nothing will happen, and we know very firmly that my disease has occurred due to the disturbance of G4. Now, what is the source of G4? Then we have to find out. That is why the baby died. Do you remember, as I told you, that baby, one gene we found that this is responsible for that particular baby's faulty eye, and we have replaced that particular gene, and nothing had happened. Devastation has occurred. Okay, so that is the reason. What is the cause? Cause is G9 and G1. Have you seen? G9 has been disturbed by external perturbation. G1 has been disturbed by some external perturbation. Due to these two nasty perturbations from outside, G4 has been disturbed. It is not the G4 who is causing the disease. It is the disturbance in G9 and G1 has caused this disease. Of G9 and which is happening in G9 and G1. This is one solution. Not possible. It is absolutely not possible. Am I audible? Oh, am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
You are audible, sir.
Now, G1 and G9 is the responsible genes, and if the solution, as I have told you, that if I stop the disturbance in G1 and G9, then this G4 will be corrected. Not possible, because this disturbance has coming from some other network where I have got no hold. I don't know from where they are coming. They are coming from some network definitely, but I have got no hold on them. So how to, now the medicine is what? Medicine is how to rectify G4. The medicine is how to make G4 to its original format, from its disturbed format, by some other means. I know that external perturbation, G1 and G9, I have got no hold. It will be there. Still, I have to rectify G4. Now, how to do that? Now, how to do that? I'm coming to that. Here, what I'm doing is I'm mixing electronics engineering also. Since you have seen my background, I'm from electronics engineering. So here, I'm mixing the concept of the electronics engineering here. Methodology. See here, I'm using PID controller. PID, proportional, a type of controller called proportional integral and derivative controller, or PID controller. Okay, so what is that? I'm coming to it. Don't worry about the name. I'm coming to it. I am trying to make you understand how I am doing it. Here, I'm PID controller. How the PID controller works. First, let me discuss that. Then I will discuss with you how I am using PID controller on the rectification process. This is PID controller. PID controller means what? Don't come to this hi-fi word. Let us think that you are driving a car and you have seen that all of a sudden some obstruction or some baby has come in front of your car. So what will happen? Automatically your leg will go to the brake to stop the car. This is called negative feedback. You observe output, and as per the output you take action by leg, and you decide what to do, and actuating action comes from the controller. Controller is brain tells that you please, brain automatically gives a signal to your leg, appropriate leg, to put pressure on the brake. Now in this particular controller, you have seen a baby and you have decided what to do is YT. This is the output. YT is what you are seeing. Under this prevailing condition, to save the baby, what you have to do is RT. RT means reference. Have you seen the RT? RT at the beginning is the beginning, what you have to do. This is YT is the baby's position. So you see a line is coming from YT. It is going to this particular summation sign with a negative sign over here. Have you seen? That means baby is about 500 meters away from the car. This signal has come over here. RT means it should not touch the baby. Okay. So what I have to think is that the error is 0 minus 500. That means minus 500 is the error. That means I have to stop the car within 500 meters. So this is, you see the equations here. Have you seen Kp into Et ET is in this particular position. RT minus YT is called the ET. And this ET is given, as an input to this controller. Controller is this particular block, PID. P means Kp into ET, I means integration, I into E into E mu into d mu, d is equal to Kd into det dt. So, so Kp, Ki, Kd, we have to find out mathematically. That is another mathematics. I am not disturbing with mathematics. Kp, Ki, Kd, how to find out? There are a lot of techniques. So this Kp, Ki, Kd, again, we have used some heuristic technique to find out. Now, depending on the distance of the car from the boy, this controller will tell you how strongly you have to push the brake. If the boy is 10 meters away, you must push it very hard. If the boy is 500 meters away from your car, then you can gradually we can push the brake and you come to the stop. You come to the that's the desired condition, that not touching the boy. Accident will not occur nothing harm will happen to the boy. So this is the controller which will tell the actuator, means your leg. This is our brain. This controller is our brain. It will tell your leg that you push with this force the brake so that the baby will be set. What is the process? The process is the whole phenomena. You are driving the car's dynamics, and your eyes driving or navigation system. This is the process. In electronics engineering, the whole process is represented by mathematics. Modeling, that is called modeling. Then, depending on the model, that means this is what is the output of this controller, is how much amount of force or how much amount of actuation it will go to the actuator, and the actuator will do the work and change the process, and the output of the process will give you where I am now. So this is the whole controller. This is called negative feedback controller. So what I am doing here is that I'm using this particular system. So in my system, you have seen in the previous slide, you see G4 is the disturbed gene, is not it? Now, what is its present value? The present disturbed value of G4 is your YT. The disturbed value of G4 is my YT, right? What is my RT? RT is what should be the normal expression level of G4 is my RT. Okay, this is RT, sorry, is my RT. Now the G4 is the present expression level, and the disturbed expression level, and RT is the normal, the conventional or the normal expression level of the most vulnerable gene G4. This is the condition. So what is the ET then? What is the RT minus YT is ET here, and this will be given to the controller. This controller will then calculate out how much external perturbation I will give, how much control action I will take, so that the process, what is the process? Process means the mathematical equation of the whole network will come to the normalcy. Anyway, let me come to this is as far as I try to understand you what is PID controller is. Now, let me come to the pictorial view, how I am doing it in actual scenario. See here, very interesting. This is a network, experimental network. We have done experimentation on it. This is my experimental network. See here, external perturbation. This is a network. There are several master regulators. There are several master regulators. Who are the master regulators? Who are the master regulators? DG. Who are the master regulators? G9 is the master regulators, is not it? So G9, and there are two master regulators, G1, DG1. This is G1, this is G9 and G1 are the master regulators. Okay. Now, Due to some mutation somewhere, G1 has been disturbed by some external perturbations, which was not there in the original network. It has come from outside. Okay. Due to this perturbation, what has happened? G7 has been affected. All the genes has been affected, but G7 has been affected maximum. G7 has been affected maximum. See here, G1 has caused why? How? G1 has disturbed G3. This arrowhead means it is increasing. It has got upregulation, and bubble means downregulation. So G1 has given some extra unnecessary disturbed G3. Disturbed G3 again has disturbed G7. Okay. Disturbed G3 has got disturbed G4 also. This disturbed G4 again part of this further disturbed G3, and G3 has disturbed G7. So in this way, so this G7 has been found to be disturbed most in this particular network. EP will be there. You cannot remove this EP. So what is your solution? Solution is that I will disturb another master regulator. I will disturb another master regulator, G9, in a controlled way, so that the negative effect of this G1 on G7 is neutralized. Got my point? This is the network. Forget about EP. Original network was minus EP. Original network is, I will rather to say, you imagine the original network was minus this red colored substance and minus this blue colored substance. Drawings, I will say, not substance, drawings. Now, due to this external disturbance on G1, G7 was highly disturbed, and that causes the disease. Now, what should be my medicine? I cannot do anything on the disturbance. Disturbance will always be there. So EP will always be there. So what I am doing, I am disturbing another master regulator, G9, so that this effect of G1 on G7 can be controlled by this controlled disturbance on G9. Got my point? So this blue line is my activity. So what I have done, SP, look here, SP means what? Set point. Set point means which set point? G7's original expression value. Normal expression value of G7 is SP, right? Now, what I'm doing, this is the, and G4, sorry, now I am taking this output from G4. MBG is, I'm sorry, I'm very much sorry that I told you G7 is the MBG. No, G4 is the MBG. G4 is the MBG. So what I have taken is the MBG means most vulnerable gene. It has been disturbed highly, not G7. G4 is the most disturbed gene. So what I'm doing is that from G4, I am taking on output. SP is the original expression value of G4. So this is the original normal expression value of G4, and presently G4 is the most disturbed, so it has got some other expression value. So the normal minus abnormal gives you the error function which goes to the control action, this PID controller. PID controller, what it does, PID controller selects the amount of protein which should be injected into the blood so that G9 is disturbed. Got my point? It gives control action. CO means control action. Control action means what? GCA means controller will calculate out the amount of protein which can either upregulate or downregulate G9 is controlled by this, is been injected into the blood so that G9 is become activated, and this activation of G9 will do the corrective action on G4. Got my point? So when G9 has been when disturbed by ourselves by this control rectification G9. G9 will give perturbation to G10. G10 will directly, it will affect G4, and G10 will also affect G3. G3 will also affect G4 with all its branches. G3 will also have an influence on G7. G7 also affect G4. So in this way, the effect of EP on G1 is being nullified by the another control action. Control action means I have got a protein which upregulates or down regulates G9, and this G9 will also disturb G4 in such a way that it acts as it counters the action of EP on G4. It counters the action of EP on G4. That means what? I know that I cannot do anything with the EP. EP will be there. It will be always disturbing G4. I have got nothing to do with them. So I am giving another disturbance, control disturbance on the gene G9 so that the G4 comes back to its set point. So this is my medicine. Now, how this medicine will work practically? How this medicine will work practically? It is on my body, say here, I will have a small PID controller here, very small PID controller, and one stock of particular set of proteins which activates G9, which regulates G9, it will be there. So small pump is also there, which will inject that particular protein into my bloodstream or somewhere place which is required. So what will happen is that these so sensors from G4, that means G4, I will find out what is the present position of G4, and I know what is the normal position of normal expression value of G4. So I find out what is the disturbance now, error. Error will drive CA means controller. This controller will tell us how much control protein should go into the blood so that G9 is disturbed to a level to mitigate the effect, the harmful effect of G4. So in this way, as long as this particular stock contains that particular protein which disturbs G9, the genetic disease will be under control. The genetic disease which is being caused by G4 will be under control. So this is how we have designed a genetic disorder maneuvering system. Now I am showing you that what I am claiming is correct mathematically. I am showing you in the next slide. In the slide, due to the original expression value of G4 is the blue line. You see the blue line? The blue line is the original expression level. Due to the external perturbation EP, the expression value of G4 has come down to the perturbed value, this almost reddish line, this one, below one. Now, what I have done, I have, what is my control action? My control action, I have disturbed G9 by some suitable protein. And due to disturbing of G9, that is called by, I am calling them as control action. You see, this is the another line. The control line has put this reddish line back to the normal track. Have you seen? That means my expression level of G4 has been restored back to the normalcy. When G4 is restored back to the normalcy means what? The genetic disease caused by G4 has gone. It is not there. It has been totally removed. Okay. Now come to the another experimental setup. I am showing you another experimental setup. See another experimental result, another network. I am taking another. Say this is a network of kidney or heart, whatever you can say. You are pleased to say. In this particular network, say this network again. I am telling you, minus red, minus blue is the original network. Now, in this particular network, who are the master regulators? See, G9 is the master regulator and G1 is the master regulator. G9 and G1 is the master regulator. You see on, I think it is the same thing. Okay, it is the same network. Both of them are the same network. I have shown you in this network G1 was disturbed and I'm controlling it with G9. Now in the next network, it is also possible that G9 is disturbed by some external perturbation and I have to, and due to which G4 was maximum, G4 was perturbed maximum. Now what I have to do, I will give the control action through G1. I will give the control action through G1. See, in the G1, I'm giving the control action so that the gene G4 comes back to normalcy. So that gene G4 comes back to normalcy. It is also, you see, possible. Here you see, due to perturbation on G9, how much my G4 was disturbed. Look here. G4 was, original value was by blue lines. Now due to this disturbance on G9, G4 value was disturbed hugely. You see, where is this on the reddish line here? Highly disturbed. Now I have given the control action. See, from this highly disturbed condition, I restored back G4. I restored back G4. So it is possible. So wherever the controller, you see, wherever the perturbation comes, I will be using my PID controller to perturb another master regulator to counter the damage caused by the external perturbation, which is causing the genetic disease. So this can be a new type of medicine. This can be a new type. This can be very good medicine for genetic treatment. Okay, this can be a very good medicine for any type of genetic treatment, which I have seen in Israel. Now, in conclusion, now tell me, biological people can tell me very nicely how to measure how much G4 has been disturbed. I am telling you the set point. Set point of G4, yes, it is known to us from microarray data. In normal condition, for a normal healthy person, I take the expression value of G4, that is my set point. Now, what is the online disturbed condition of G4, how to measure? Is there any sensor? No sensor is available till now. No. Sensor is not there to measure how to calculate how much G4 has been disturbed. Now, this is, now, you see, so then you can tell me the whole thing is bogus? Yes, you can tell me, but I'm telling you, in electronics engineering, there is another topic that is called observer or estimator. What estimator or observer does? It takes some other parameters of the blood or some other places and estimates what is the present value of G4. For example, I'm telling you, I'm telling you as an example, say in the blast furnace, have you seen? In the furnace, is melting, very high heat. Can you put a sensor over there? Sensor will melt away. So how to measure the temperature of the furnace? So what we'll do, we'll put the sensors, 3 or 4 sensors at a distance from the actual melting spot. Okay, and from their readings, I estimate what is the exact value of the melting iron. So in this way, it is the work of the biologist will tell me that the malfunctioning of G4 will be translated, will be manifested in what measurable format. So we will measure that, and by measuring those particular these parameters, we can estimate the present value of G4. So observer design is still a fertile research area of our electronics students specifically, and also I will say that my IT students can also do research on that. So this is the loophole over there. Okay, this is number one loophole of this whole research, where you can do research till now. Another research is that what you have seen, that in a network we have got two master regulators. There may be many master regulators. There may be, I have shown you only one perturbation in one master regulator. Who said that only one perturbation will come? If there are many master regulators, to multiple number of master EPs can come. EP1, EP2, EP3 can come. Possible. Thirdly, if the network is very, very big, if the master regulator is high, number of master regulators is high, it may be possible that I have to use multiple number of controllers to mitigate the effect of multiple number of EPs. So that is called MIMO, multiple input, multiple output controllers. So MIMO controller is a fertile research area in this particular domain. Okay, so if we can do further research by in collaboration with our beloved biotechnology friends, because now biotechnology, electronics I have introduced here. Electronics was not there earlier with the biotechnologist. Computer sciences were there for a long time in the form of system biologists, in bioinformatics, bioinformatics persons. They were there with them, with the biotechnologist. So let us hold the hand of the biotechnologists very strongly and develop a new medicine, a new technique of medical science using PID controllers to mitigate this type of genetic disorders, so that our medical science flourishes, life expectancy increases, and not life expectancy increases is not my aim. My aim is that as long as I live, I should live fruitfully. I should have a very good agile body. I should have a very good agile mind, so that those can be restored. This can run perfectly, so that and you can say that with age, the body degrades due to some genetic, of course, due to some genetic malfunctioning. If that can be controlled, so it is also a great help to humankind. So this is a new area of research which we have initiated, myself and my student has initiated, and I got the courage to present it to you because this has been accepted by World Congress and World Congress of Computational Intelligence. It is definitely a recognized body of the world, and also it has been in the final stage in IEEE transaction. We had minor revisions. If God forbid, if nothing abnormal happens, we expect it may be accepted. Okay, so with all these positive feedbacks, I am putting forward this particular technique in front of you for further research in the arena. Thank you very much for giving me chance to talk to you, and very strong Department of Biotechnology, where I have gone many times. Though I have got a strong intention to work with them, but still it was not possible. Anyway, I think someday it will be possible, before I retire, of course. Thank you very much for patient hearing. Thank you. Minga. Hello.
Yes, sir. I can hear you, sir. Sir, we can hear you, sir. You're audible.
These are the references you can think of. Useful references you can think of. Okay. Acha, now it is
Hello, sir. Sir, please unmute yourself, sir. We cannot hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah. We can hear you now, sir.
Is there any question from anybody?
Yes, sir. There is one question. I will just read out, sir, please. How we prevent from genetically diseases? How do we prevent from genetically diseases, sir? This is the one and only question, sir, that has raised by a participant. How do we prevent from genetically diseases?
How we can prevent genetic diseases? How we can prevent genetic diseases is maintaining good lifestyle. That means perturbation comes from many ways. Number one is from mutation of the gene. Mutation of the gene causes one of the major cause of the mutation of the genes is radiation. Don't expose yourself to the X-ray radiations, beta radiations, and all these radiations very much. You be 100 miles away from this radiation. Don't go near to the cancer centers where there are cobalt therapy and all these therapies are there. There are strong things are this I will say that rays, this type of electromagnetic rays are there, strong electromagnetic rays, and which are used for therapeutic purpose. Those are the major source of the genetic disease. Number one. Number two, you have to maintain a good lifestyle. Don't all on a sudden, don't change your lifestyle. That will cause genetic disease. Say, I'm a vegetarian. All on a sudden, I'm starting eggs, 20 numbers, 22 numbers, 23 numbers of eggs per day. That will cause genetic disease. So every environment, all on a sudden environment change causes, if it is a shock, it will cause an adverse genetic disease. So these are the things we should keep a normal life. We should avoid these radiations, number one. Number two, and number three is that if we need to change our environment very sharply, that means from minus to plus, we have to go through zeros. That means we have to adapt our bodies. All of a sudden, don't change your habit abruptly.
Okay,
that causes genetic disease.
Sir, there are three more questions. I will just read out, sir. If diseases from father to son, then how do we prevent?
Yes, the diseases from father to son, how we can prevent? Nice question. See, father has got some genetic mutated gene, has been mutated gene, father. That has been transmitted to his son. That is normal. You can do nothing. Nothing can be done with it. Only thing is that you can, for the son, you can use the genetic therapy. The genetic therapy means whatever I have told in some form of this, you can use it. But you cannot prevent, you cannot stop. And if the son, if you can keep the son in this particular format, from son to his own, his father siblings will not suffer from this.
Okay, sir. There are a few more questions, sir. Is it possible to modify genes in adult human?
Is it possible to, no, adult human being? No, not possible. No.
Okay, sir. So coming to the next question, sir, please. Can we have a check on genetically induced diseases by controlling marriage with relatives?
Exactly. If you are married with your near relatives, it is dangerous. It is dangerous. Say, I'm telling you, just for, don't take it as otherwise. Distance marriage produces brilliant children. Say, if an Indian marries an American, their children will be very sound health and very intelligent. As a human, they'll be better human than if an Indian marries to to his own community. So avoid distance, the marriage within the community. Avoid marriage within the community. This is proved true and true.
Okay, thank you, sir. Coming to the next question, sir. There are two more questions, sir. I hope you can still spare time, sir.
Yeah.
My father is suffering from skin cancer symptoms.
Yes.
In me, then what I can do? I think I will just read out, sir. I will just read out again. My father is suffering from skin cancer symptoms. Then what can I do? In me, then what can I do? I think the question is, I'm
telling you, this is the see. Regarding cancer, I'm telling you, I have got a very nasty experience on it. It is like this: the cancer is happened due to why nobody knows, but cancer happens due to genetic mutation. That is true. Cancer ultimately it is caused by the genetical disorder, whatever may be the cause. Maybe it is some chemical effect, maybe it is radiational effect, maybe it is some genetic mutational effect. Ultimately, it affects the particular growth portion of the cell of a particular body portion. See, the genetic level of your hand skin, the skin in this particular portion, and the skin here are entirely different. Genetic patterns are entirely different. The hair bearing skin and this without hair bearing skin has totally different genetic features. But the cells die and grow also. This death and growth has been finely been controlled by some genes. When there is some problem with these genes, definitely this cancer happens.
Okay, sir. Next, yeah.
And these cancers can be rectified. Of course, these cancers can be rectified if this particular whatever technique we have told about, if they can go to the biological laboratory with further translation, then I think some solution will come out. Cancer will not be there anymore in the world.
Sir, coming to the next question, why children of diabetic patients have diabetes too? Is it genetically passed?
Yes, it is genetically passed. Yes, it is genetically passed. Yes.
Okay, then, sir.
And genetically passed, and this genetically passed can be, if it can be stopped from one offspring, last offspring, then it will not further propagate. Got my point? If the son has got this disease, if he can cure the son by this particular manner, his son will not suffer from this.
Yes. Sir, coming to the next question, sir. Suppose my grandfather, great-grandfather, and father were a cancer patients. Therefore, yes, how can I avoid such transmittable diseases for me and my children?
It is God. It is the God who can do it. Because what happens when a zygote is formed, which genes become dominant, which genes becomes predominant, and what structure they take in a zygotic form, it is not in our hand. Something we can control, everything we cannot. Everything we cannot. But that is not necessarily that my disease will be transmitted into me. My disease will be transmitted into my child. It is not necessarily. But it will be there in dormant state. My child's child can have this disease also. My grandchild can have all these diseases also. So yeah, genetical disorder, if it happens in somebody, it transmits.
Sir, coming to the last question, sir, please. Is it only enough manipulating the only most effective? I will repeat again, sir. Just one minute.
MBG, it is the MBG.
Yeah. Is it only enough? Is it only enough manipulating the only most effective,
Yes,
ignoring other effective genes in case of such diseases?
exactly. Nice question. Excellent question. Is it only the MBG which can be manipulated to avoid this disease? Excellent question. Yes, I congratulate you. This is say, when some external perturbation comes, believe me, it affects all the genes in the network. We have done it. We have mathematically analyzed and we have seen it that all the genes are affected, but that MBG is affected maximum. So what we have assumed that that gene which has been affected maximum, that will its effect will be prominent in the human body. That's why we have done this maneuvering. It is not necessarily that that MBG, maybe the maximum affected gene translated into a minor thing, and minor affected gene can have a minorly affected gene can have a nasty effect. Possible, highly possible. But when we are taking the control action, you believe me, most of the genes are rectified. MBG, I'm pointing out, when I'm rectifying the MBG, we have found out other genes are also rectified. Not to that extent, but to some extent they are also rectified. Yes, they are also rectified. It will have a good effect.
Sir, that is all in the question and answer section. Sir, it was a very informative session, sir, that you have provided, and many of the participants are sending messages of appreciation. So we really appreciate your valuable time that you have spent along with us, sir. It was really a very informative session, sir. So I would like to thank Professor Gautam Saha, our speaker, and all the participants. So thank you very much, sir.
So thank you very much, because till now I have seen 76 participants. The
Exactly,
number of
sir.
participants is very high. Beyond my expectation, and the participants, the number of participants increases. But Minga, I'm telling you, please keep on research on it.
Yes,
Do this research on your university,
okay.
and take students on it who are interested. Take the students who are interested in biology, and you will have a fantastic research on this area. Very new area, fertile area.
Yes, sir. Okay. Thank you very much, sir. And thank you all the participants.
Thank you very much. I am grateful to you.